can taste your words. I can taste your I can taste your words. I can taste your
Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video we're going to be providing top-down analysis on Ethereum. Welcome back. So I thought we'd do things a bit differently today, and we're on the Ethereum price chart on the daily Binance chart against USDT. So what I've done is I've gone back on bar replay, and we're in the November region. We know that we hit the highs in November, so it's alright looking at that in hindsight, but I thought what we could do is follow the market together. So firstly, we know that back from last July, or even just before July, we were making a series of extensions, swing highs, and then pullback. So we've been in a bullish trend since then, and what I like to do when I'm following the trend is I just identify. It's easier to see when there's a change in there. So as part of my trading strategy, the first thing that I do is identify the trend, and identify the trend in my trading time frame. So I've got certain strategies on different time frames, but the one that I'm looking at the moment is the daily. So we'll go back and we'll just follow the trend and see what clues it gives us. So we're in our bullish trend with no indication of being bearish at the moment. We just know what price did. So we've just created a series of higher highs and higher lows. Identify there. It's actually a lot simpler when you follow the trend and you make decisions based on what the trend's telling you. It's actually a lot easier to identify. So the first thing I do is identify the trend, and then we can look at predicting a future price movement based on that trend. And that's even before looking at entry points on lower time frames and rule sets, stop losses, etc. So we'll just continue this trend down now. There we can see that we're not making higher highs anymore, so we've got the lower high in play, and we're starting to see a bit of weakness in the market. You've got your lower low, excuse me, and then we'll see what happens next. So a couple of things here you can see. From a trend perspective, we broke the trend some time ago. We've got a main trend here coming up, which was broken. And then you've come down, didn't manage to even retest this trend, and it's come down and slapped straight through the 200 moving average. And the 200 daily moving average is it's a strong indicator to go by. So a couple of things that's happened there to indicate a complete bearish turn of momentum. Get rid of that, and if we follow this down as we have previously, we'll see that we're now trending down. So we'll continue this now, and at the moment we're back in January 2022. And we continue down. So lower high, oops, lower high. Lower high. And this is an area now which I'm interested in. You see that it's met by quite a lot of buy-in pressure here, which potentially could indicate a bottom. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a bottom and it happened here and we got slammed through, but what I am saying is we can now look for price action to give us a clue as to whether something else is going to happen in the market. So we're observing here at the moment as traders. So we can firstly look left to find whether this is actual structure and how price react to that in the past. And you could see that this becomes support back in April 21. It's come back, tested again, confirmation of support in May, and we've broke down temporarily underneath the 200 moving average and then slammed straight back up. Since then, we're now at this level and this is our area of interest. So not doing anything with this yet, but we're just going to see how price reacts to this, because we're still making a series of lower highs in the market and lower lows. So now we observe. And boom, confirmed double bottom. So you've got a confirmed double bottom, but what haven't we got? We've got the higher low, which is showing strength, and now we're looking to try and get the higher high to start getting a bit of momentum. So if we just continue this move up, we'll just draw to show that we're potentially getting a bit of change here. Depending on what your strategy is, this could have been an entry point here. So one of my entry points is either a free bar reversal or a higher high, higher close, but I need to be with the trend, so it's not a trend reversal strategy that I'm going to be trading, so this wouldn't be an entry for me. Let's continue to see what happens next. Price pulling back down. And then we start seeing strength. So 31st of March, we're not too far away now, and what's the main thing that's happened here? Is we've got the higher high we've been waiting for. So got the higher high, strength in the market, resistance at the 200 daily moving average as expected. We can start looking at clues as to where price action could go next now. So this is the level that we needed to beat to confirm our higher high. And let's see how price reacts. So we're now in real time, and what's the important thing here is we haven't fully retraced yet, so we don't actually know, but we've managed to see this high, peaked above the 200 moving average, coming back down, and we're at a retest level now, and we'll see how that reacts. We're creating an upward momentum line, and you probably may or may not be aware that momentum lines are a good thing, and a lot of people are watching them when they're hold. The stronger the momentum line is, the easier the line for people to follow, because the difference is between a momentum line and a break of actual trend is the horizontal lines, that they carry an actual price on there, whereas a momentum line carries a series of prices along a rising line. So it's a lot stronger to have the breakout of the horizontal. What I would then do now, we're at real current time price action, is to go down into the 4 hour or your lower time frame, depending on what it is that you're trading on, and then look for clues as to where price is likely to move next. We see we've got a level here which is an area of concern, and that's my previous previous outside return and previous lower low. So this is the area that I'm looking at now, and ideally I want price to break, close above this area, and then test this recent high here. So I'm quite optimistic on Ethereum. I think it's done quite well, certainly in comparison to Bitcoin. When you look at the Bitcoin to channel and the momentum line, it's got a lot of capitulation wicks, which is indicating that the bears have been able to push price down, but there was a lot of buy orders at those lower levels. So Ethereum's looking good. Just quickly, I know that we've just gone over the analysis and we've just followed the trend down, and just wanted to go over it quickly. I know that it's to a certain extent teaching a lot of people at SuckX, but it's quite a strong thing to do, is just to follow the trend up. When you create a series of higher highs, just mark your chart out that you're creating a series of higher highs, and when you're creating a series of higher lows, do the same thing. Just follow it up. Follow it up. It helps you identify, because at the point that you're going to get weakness in the market, and at that point you're going to get something that looks like this, where you've got a deep pullback, 786 or whatever, and then possibly a retrace, a peak, or something like that, where you've got your head and shoulders, and you'll start seeing weakness in the market. So it helps you identify those levels, and it's the first thing that I do before I enter into any trade, or the first thing I do at the start of the week really, is just check the analysis on what setups are going to play, what's likely to play, what's not likely to play throughout the week. And to be honest with you, probably 80 and 90% of your setups don't actually make your rules anyway. So you're observing in the market, and the less time that you spend on the charts, the better really, because if you're trading the higher time frames, you don't need to be sat at the chart looking at it all day. You can come back once a day. If you're trading the 4 hour, come back once every 4 hours, set your alarm to every 4 hours. I mean, this is not financial advice, and if you don't know what you're doing as far as trading is concerned, you shouldn't actually be trading. You should have basically a strong strategy in play, otherwise you're not going to be able to tell whether you're going to be consistently profitable. But based on certain situations, it's always going to be scattergun, and you're never going to be able to identify what works and what doesn't work. So it's always good to have that strategy and risk management. So as far as risk management is concerned, one thing that I don't do is trade more than 1% of my portfolio. I'm not at risk by more than 1% of my portfolio at any one time. That's just something that I do certainly on my trading portfolio. So hope you like the video, guys. Any questions, leave them below, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. If you'd like us to go over any specific altcoins, let us know. Many thanks, guys. Have a nice day.
I can taste